tax increases are not going to be considered. What's your point with that coming budget?
I've said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I have no intention at this point to raise taxes, fees, or otherwise. And if there was any confusion, I want to make it clear that when I mentioned in response to a question about an urban revitalization committee, that's certainly not to suggest that we don't intend to represent the entire state and look at the economic problems that face the entire state.
That said, though, do you believe that Ohio's big cities have been neglected somewhat over the past 10, 14 years?
I do.
In what, can you cite an example?
I believe that focusing on, again, job creation and job incentives, that we can do a lot more in the cities than has been done in the past.
Could you speak a little bit to the experience factor? This is probably one of the, in terms of legislative experience, one of the least from top to bottom experienced leadership teams. Is that, talk about a little bit about the challenges there, maybe the opportunities as well in terms of getting fresh blood in.
There's huge challenges this year, and I'm blessed to have in the caucus a number of people that have extensive experience in the legislature. I intend to rely deeply on people like Representative Gerberry, Representative Hagan, Representative Boyd, who else am I missing? Representative Sykes. Representative Sykes will play a major role in the coming legislature because his experience is invaluable. So we do have people who have that experience, and I intend to lean heavily.
Last question.
And I know that Representative Beatty will be available for me at all times with questions.
I have one more question, guys.
The governor's going to roll out his education reform plan next year. The OEA, the OFT were major contributors to House Democrats in this past election, so there's clearly some great expectation that some big things are coming. But as you know, the budget is in a terrible shape. What kind of real major education funding reform changes can be made considering the budget situation?
In my less than 24 hours as Speaker-elect, I haven't had an opportunity to get too involved in the budget yet, but I will say that from everything I know, the budget is going to be a super challenge for us in the coming legislature. But having said that, the governor, during the last 2 years, has shown an ability to find ways to invest in Ohio without new taxes and while spending within our means. The governor has been able to come up with a proposal that the House, in a bipartisan fashion, adopted, which would cut property taxes for many people in Ohio, for example. The governor and the House and Senate came up with a plan to invest in jobs with a huge economic stimulus package without raising taxes. So I am optimistic that we will be able to come up with a solution to the school funding problem while still living within our means. Please.
Thank you. I've been on the Education Committee for the last 4 years in the primary and secondary subcommittee of finance on education. And I can tell you that the governor's plan isn't simply about changing the way we fund our schools. They went more basic and they asked the question, how do we make our schools more competitive globally? And that is not necessarily just about money. That's about efficiencies, and it's about what do we value to move Ohio students forward so they can compete nationally and internationally. And one of his agenda items in the last budget was the seniors to sophomores. If we have students that are ready for college, then we don't need to pay for them senior year and pay for them freshman year. If they're ready to move along, we can do things like advancing their education in that manner. I suspect there are many other efficiencies that can move Ohio forward and can provide the challenges that private students need.
Thank you, everybody.